I'm not offended when y'all ghost me in the chat after I give y'all the price though. First off, I look for inspiration. I go between Pinterest and Instagram, looking at different cookie designs, as well as looking for clip arts that will help me trace the designs on the cookie. And this process took me about 10 minutes. Sometimes customers do send inspiration pics, so that does help, but I still go sometimes and do my own little research just so that I can put my own creative spin on the set that they want. After I've settled on the designs I want to use for the cookie set, I would plan out which cutters I would need and my colors, and I would write it down and go and bake. So before I actually bake, the planning here shows me how much of each cookie shape I need to bake for an order. That way I don't forget or lose count of how many cookies I am cutting out before I put them in the oven. I didn't take a picture of my icing prep, but this is an estimated time for coloring the ice and bagging them, but not a true reflected time because most times it does take me up to an hour at least to color and bag icing. My base icing layer is on, and this is the time it took for me to pipe the icing on those 12 cookies, and then I placed them in the dehydrator to dry for 3.5 hours. I did add more drying time to it as well. Here I'm tracing the design on 4 cookies. These ones didn't need a long drying time, so they were the first ones oaked at the dehydrator that I was able to get started on, and this is how long it took for me to trace the designs on these 4 cookies. After tracing the cookies, I flooded them in with white icing to get this final look, and this was the time it took to flood in the white icing on these cookies. Now that all of the cookies are officially dry, I am able to trace the second and third designs on the 8 cookies that were left to do. Okay, so now that all of the images are on the cookies, here is the time it took for me to complete it, minus 1 cookie, seeing that I ended up starting before I put the timer on. So which brings us here to where I filled in the designs with the icing colors to get almost completed cookies. You can see here's where it takes the longest when it comes to adding in different colors for the design to come alive on the cookies. So this last stitch face is fully completed after adding in the last bit of details, and it took almost 20 minutes to complete. The set is officially completed, yay! And now we move on to photography and packaging, which includes setting them up to get a few shots before getting them in bags and heat sealing them and putting them in the box, which was all a little under 30 minutes. So you are paying for time, and skill. Lots of time, skill, love goes into making these edible arts. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be pricey, but it's gonna be worth it.